Close your eyes. I want you to imagine a fire. Not a large fire, not a bonfire built for war or celebration. A small fire. The kind that sits low against the ground on a rocky shore. The kind that throws orange light in a wide circle and makes the darkness outside it feel friendly rather than threatening. You are near this fire. The ground beneath you is smooth stone, still warm from a day of sun. The warmth rises up through whatever you are lying on, through your back, through your shoulders, into the spaces between your shoulder blades where the tension lives. Feel that warmth. Let it loosen what has been held tight. The sea is close. You can hear it. That rhythm that has no beginning and no end. That sound that existed before human beings had language to describe it. Breathe with it for a moment. I am sitting across this fire from you. My name, the name most people know me by, is Odysseus. Tonight, I am simply an old man by a fire, and you are a traveler who needs to sleep. I have been thinking lately about the sea. Specifically, I have been thinking about the color of it. A color that Homer called wine dark. He didn't mean the color of wine. He meant the feeling of it, the weight of it. The sea has that quality. It fills the horizon the way wine fills a cup, completely, without apology. With a darkness underneath the surface that you cannot see the bottom of. I have spent years on that darkness. Let me begin at the beginning, or rather, where I always begin, which is not at the beginning at all. It begins with the end of something. Troy fell in the 10th year. 10 years. I want you to sit with that number. 10 years of waking before dawn to the smell of salt air and cook fires. 10 years of the same faces. 10 years of the same shore, the same ships beached behind us, the same enormous walls ahead of us. I will not tell you much about the war tonight. Wars are not good sleeping material. They are loud and frightening. But I will tell you what Troy looked like in those last moments, because it is beautiful in a way that sadness sometimes is. The horse was Athena's idea, or rather, it was my idea, which is how you get generals to agree to things. It was a clever scheme. We were cramped, and the air inside the horse was warm and close with the smell of fresh-cut cedar wood and nervous men. We could hear the Trojans outside. A Trojan woman walking around the horse, calling out our names, calling out our wives' names. I held my breath and thought of Ithaca. The way the hills behind my house catch the morning light before the rest of the island wakes. I thought of my wife Penelope at her loom, the particular set of her shoulders when she is working, the way she turns her head when she hears my step. 20 years, in the end, I would be away from that house and that woman. 10 of them were war. The other 10 were the sea. When the city fell, we gathered at the ships. We had won, and we had lost, and we had survived. We loaded the ships. And then we pointed our prows away from Troy and toward the horizon and the long, open sea. I did not look back. The sea in those first days was kind, a following wind, which means a wind that comes from behind you, pushing you forward. The water was very clear. You could see down through it to the sandy bottom where the light made shifting patterns, like something alive. Further out, in deep water, the surface caught the light differently. Not transparent, but reflective, like bronze, like hammered metal. I have never seen a sky like the sky at sea, far from land. No hills, no trees, just the dome of it, thick with light. We navigated by those stars, Orion wheeling across the southern sky, the Pleiades like a secret, and the Bear that never sets. If you keep the Bear on your left shoulder at night, you are sailing east. You carry certain things in the body when you have needed them long enough. We stopped first at the island of Aeolus, the keeper of the winds. He was a good host. He fed us, housed us, and heard our stories. When we prepared to leave, he gave me a gift, a leather bag tied with silver cord. Inside, he told me, were all the winds except the west wind. I held the bag carefully. I kept it myself. Did not let any of my men handle it. For 9 days we sailed on that west wind. The water was calm and the sky was clear, and I could feel Ithaca getting closer. On the 10th day I fell asleep. I had not slept properly in 9 days. I had been awake, watching the bag, watching the sea, watching my men. My men had been watching the bag. They decided that the bag must contain treasure. They opened the bag. Every wind in the world came out at once. I woke to chaos. The sea went from flat to violent in a single breath. The ships lurched and spun. The ropes cracked like whips. The rain came. Not gentle rain, but the kind that hits like gravel. We were blown back. All the way back. 9 days of sailing. Undone in a night. I sat at the stern and I thought about anger. I thought about the shape of it, the way it fills the chest. But I looked at them, and the anger became something softer, something like grief. Let me tell you about the island of Circe. She lives alone on an island that was, when we first found it, the most beautiful island I had ever seen. Dense forest all the way to the water's edge. Oak trees, their bark dark and furrowed, their canopies thick. The undergrowth was soft, ferns and small white flowers. Smoke rose from somewhere deep in the trees. A single thin column of smoke which meant a house, and a fire which meant someone was home. I sent half my men to investigate. 22 men, led by my lieutenant Eurylochus. They found the house, a stone house at the center of a large clearing, with a proper roof and a garden around it. But sitting in the garden were lions and wolves, not wild lions and wolves. Lions and wolves that approached my men wagging their tails gently, the way a dog comes to you, which is more frightening than a wolf that wants to eat you. It means something had already happened to these animals that changed what they were. My men did not turn back. They should have turned back. Circe came to the door. She was very beautiful, but the most important detail is that she was very competent. She knew exactly what she was doing. She invited my men inside. She gave them food and wine, and then she touched each man with her staff, and every one of them became pigs. Not metaphorical pigs, actual pigs. 4 legs, bristled skin, snouts. She led them to her pigsty and threw them acorns. Eurylochus came back to me running. My men begged me not to go. I understood all of this. I went alone anyway. On the path, a young man appeared beside me, Hermes. He gave me a plant, a small herb called moly, which he said would protect me. The wine she gave me did nothing. When she touched me with her staff, nothing happened. And then I drew my sword. We stayed on Circe's island for a year. The food she set before us was extraordinary, flavors I have never found anywhere else. When the year was done, it was my men who asked to leave. They were right. It was time. We wanted to go home. Circe told me the path home required passing through a place not in the world we knew. We would have to speak with the dead.